I call this Sawyer County Land and Water Forest Resources Committee meeting to order. Roll call.
Bruce Paulson, Ron Buckholz,
Here.
Jesse Becker, Mark Halloway,
Here.
Brian Bissonnette,
Here.
Kevin Shepard. You have a quorum.
Okay. Certification of compliance with the open meetings law. Madam Clerk.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Okay. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, public comments. At this time, members of the public will be given an opportunity to comment, not agenda items. And please adhere to the following when addressing the committee, 3 minutes or less. And comments should be directed to the committee as a whole and not one individual. And the committee members cannot respond to your comments. So is there anybody out there that wants to speak on public comment? Okay. Consider approval of the previous minutes. And there was one correction in there, Jay, right? Yep. Okay.
Make a motion to approve with those corrections of the coffer.
Okay.
Barb wanted to speak.
I got it in my head, yes, I'm sorry.
Raise your hand.
Oh, well, it's on agenda item.
Okay.
You got, that's why I didn't call on you. Or you want to speak in public comment on this?
Yes. it's
Okay.
not on the agenda.
All right, sorry, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. That's okay. My name is Barbara Bryan, and I live along Old Double O Road outside of Sealy. Today, I'm here about the logging along the Sealy trails. And I'm referring to the main trails, not the single track trails. The last time I was here was in November. At that time, this committee determined that a subcommittee should be formed and should meet to come to a compromise about a 150-foot buffer along the Sealy trails when logging. It's been 3 months and there have been no meetings, no attempt at a meeting, no communication at all. I have served on boards and have been under the direction of boards. I've been directed by boards to do and implement things that I professionally didn't agree with. But that's just part of working with the board. I currently serve on 2 state level boards. Deciding to form a committee to further look at an issue is often used as a way to shut someone up and to make them go away. It's often successful. In this situation, it is not. I am formally asking this committee to put on the agenda the March meeting as an action item to implement a 150-foot buffer when logging along the Sealy trails, similar to the Berkey trails, to be forwarded to the county board for action. Further, this should be implemented and applied to schedule logging this spring. In support of this request, I'm submitting a copy of a petition that has over 150 signatures on it. People who use the trails for biking, skiing, hiking, etc. are living in the area and support the buffer. Here are the originals. I have copies and I have them scanned also.
Okay.
In response to comments made at previous meetings, our request applies only to the Sealy non-motorized trails. It has nothing to do with ATV or snowmobile trails. And common sense tells you that a buffer maximizes the habitat for the birds and the wildlife by providing both a fresh cut area and maintaining an established growth area. And this committee has not been given completely accurate information on the economic impact of leaving a buffer. The dollar amount given to you previously was inflated to include the buffers on single tracks. This does not include the single tracks. We're not asking for that. It was not clear whether the dollar amount given also included the stuff that was already logged. It is quite clear that establishing a group to discuss this issue further and come up with a compromise did not work and will not work. Hence the request to add this agenda for a formal vote. On January 22nd, the Sealy Big Fat Race was held on the Sealy Trails. It made the front page of the newspaper on the on-town section. Worthwhile enough to even put a nice color picture in there for us. This article noted that there were finishers and local finishers, which implies that the participants come from other areas. I am sure that these participants and their families and friends spent money in Sawyer County on food, beverage, gas, lodging, and more. Part of the attraction of this race is the quality of those Sealy trails. Keeping a buffer on the trails would help to ensure the continued quality of the trails. On January 29th, the Sealy Hills Classic Ski Race was held on the Berkey Trail. That weekend, the Sealy trails were quite busy with skiers from outside the area, many from outside the area. Other races that have an impact on the Sealy trails include the pre-Berkey, the pre-fat, the fat tire, the pre-fat to Berkey, and more. These also have a positive impact, economic impact on the area. The lack of buffer impacts the trails in other ways as well. It can make a huge difference in snow retention. The lack of snow can be dangerous or make the trail completely unusable. Tom Geyer has concerns about the quality of trails if there is no buffer. If there is snow on the ground and there is wind, the lack of the buffer causes snow to blow over and you can't keep tracks. With no buffer, the sun melts, snow refreezes, resulting in ice and bare patches, and repeats the process. I walk on these trails almost daily. The trails are continually groomed for bikers, skiers, and snowshoers in the winter. They're used by bikers, hikers, runners in the spring, summer, and fall. They're dog friendly. I see people on the trails all the time. The trails are used. Part of their appeal is their aesthetic quality. Part of their appeal is the quality and safety of the trails themselves. The Sealy trails provide more variety for silent sports than the Berkey Trail does and are far more user-friendly than the Berkey Trail.
Finish her up.
Okay. In summary, I'm formally asking that the committee put on the next agenda as an action item to implement a 150-foot buffer when logging along the trails, similar to the Berkey, to be forwarded to the Sawyer County Board for action. It takes little effort from loggers to create this buffer, and I would like you to support the silent sport community, the tourism industry, and the logging industry. The county benefits from all three. Thank you for your time and your service to local government. And I have a copy of what I just said and some photographs of the trails.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Can I speak on this?
Yes, no, you can't because it's a public comment. Sorry, Mark.
Yep, just going to ask, thanks.
Greg, can you and Bruce get together when he gets back on this?
We sure can.
And see, you know, I don't want to make a decision for him.
Right. You know, and when we discussed this, we weren't directed to form a formal committee to address this. We had talked about, I was going to get with Mr. Geyer and we were going to talk through this subject. There was no formal direction from this committee to form an ad hoc committee to do this. So it's not like we're trying to ignore this. We're not trying to make this go away. We just haven't got to it this winter.
All right.
That statement threw me.
Yeah, thanks. And then when he gets back, you guys can discuss this and
Will do.
just keep the committee updated on what it is. Mr. O'Brien, would you want to speak now? 3 minutes, sir.
Just to take a minute, I'm Barbara's husband, represent the ski club and the Ski Lions Club, and I would just say whatever she put in there, you know, I would say the same thing. But what kind of gets me is it seems like everything is driven by economics. And that was the main reason, you know, we cut all this forestry for the money, this and that. And right now, it seems like every municipality, school system, everyone's awash in money from COVID money and from the federal government, state, whatever it's coming from. And, you know, to go and I don't use the word rape, but just to destroy that area up there for a few dollars. And it's going to be like that for 30 years. I live across the street. When I first started hunting up there back in the late 80s, excuse me, they did some clear cutting. It's just the point now, in 2022, where you can start walking through it again and actually use the place, because it gets to be just such a mess. You can't see through it, you can't walk through it. And then the point where Tom was saying, if you go up there today with this little bit of snow and with the way the wind's blowing, if they set tracks last night, they're gone because the wind, there's nothing to stop the wind and the snow on that trail. Sun pops out, it's gonna be melted off, and then you can't use the trail. And we would settle for 100 feet. We just want to maintain, not so much the aesthetics, but that's a big part of it, but just maintain the usability of the area. And there are people up there all the time using it. And such as Mr. Peterson, I bet none of you have been up there to look at the place. Just maybe take some time, go up there and look for yourselves and see what it's like. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Okay, anyone else wanna talk on public comment? Okay. All right, now we'll get back to number 6, approval of the previous minutes, and Mr. Helwig made a motion to approve. And I need a second. Brian,
I'll
you want a
second.
second? Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes with the change of from copper to coffer dam. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, motion carries. Number 7, discussion and possible action, Hayward Lions pre-Berkey.
Yep, we have a application on hand for the Hayward Lions pre-Berkey. We have the needed insurance certificate and appropriate application. I recommend approval.
Okay, and you see we have everything we needed to, okay,
Make a motion to approve.
all right, we have a motion. I'll second that. We have a motion and a second to approve the Hayward Lions pre-Berkey. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, motion carries. Sawyer County Treasurer's Department. Aye,
I think unless a land sale, I don't. think-
okay, that's all that comes through.
I think
That was
so.
just land sale?
I believe
Okay,
that's pretty
all
much
right.
a report.
All right, thank you. Land Records and County Surveyor Department, Dan?
I don't have much to report. Tax season rollover to 2022 happened last week or the week before. Property listings up till February 1st or 2nd, so they're right on schedule. Survey crew, what's left of it, has worked in some stuff in Draper and some stuff in Bass Lake the last month or two.
I seen them down by my area there.
Yep, yeah, he was down there, someplace down toward Tasman's.
Yeah, in Weirgor there, even on Hoffman Road, I think
Yep,
it was.
yeah, someplace.
Or
down
Gordon
there.
Road, I mean.
Yep,
Yeah, well, they just, what are they surveying there?
just getting section corners. out.
Corners,
In
okay.
a road, yeah.
Okay, all right, I just wanted. That it? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sawyer County Forestry Department. Motorized trails, who wants to speak, ladies?
I'm Kathy LaRue from the Alliance, and of course, we need more snow, but the trails are in fair condition, a lot of them in good condition. The lakes are awesome. Groomers have been out constantly. Lot of traffic this year. Businesses are reporting a phenomenal year. The Alliance purchased 3 trail counters. We put one up last weekend, was it, at Trail 18 coming off the flowage, and it recorded 2,570 hits from Thursday to Sunday.
Wow.
So we're getting just an enormous use of the trail system. The local clubs have been putting on a lot of events, which are bringing a lot of people to the area as well. So we're just praying for more snow. Any questions?
I don't have any, but I hear you're gonna get like another 3 inches maybe this weekend.
We've been doing snow dances, so.
Well, you might done good there then, we'll see.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
thank
it's
you.
working so far.
Anybody have any questions for her?
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Non-motorized, I don't have nothing from Mr. Bob. Bruce usually handle that. Did anybody get anything?
There was an email sent to Tom Duffy yesterday. I can pull it up if you want me to look for it. Since I wasn't here.
You guys want to see it? No,
I think it talked about the bleachers coming in
okay.
at Lumberjack Bowl.
We can get another report next month.
Yep.
Well, the birthday will be done by then, but that's all right. So, okay. Cooper Land Trade Proposal, discussion and possible action.
Okay, this is kind of a redo. We kind of retooled some things. We presented this in 2017. It was a little bit different then. The committee approved it, county board approved it, and we submitted an application for a withdrawal in addition to the state. We ran into a few hiccups with some deed issues on the private. We also had some parcel, we had to split some parcels in order to do this. So there was just a couple of different wrinkles that wasn't making this go through real smooth. So I've been in contact with Mr. Cooper quite a bit over the last few years. And we decided to clean this up and try a more simplified version of this application where we're trading a 40-acre parcel of Mr. Cooper. Our parcel is a bigger 40 at 43.76 acres. Look on the map, the Cooper parcel is the one in yellow. You know, you can see basically every recreational trail we have kind of bends up and around that private parcel just north of Hatchery Park. The Story County parcel is just northwest of there, and that's in red. Cooper's parcel is all high ground. It's all northern hardwood oak. The Story County parcel has got 11 acres of lowland swamp type stuff. Timber values, the Cooper parcel's got a little bit higher timber value. I think overall it's a more quality parcel. It's a little bit less acres than what we'd be trading for, but with the recreation impact there and just some of our blocking, I think this would be a real positive yet for the county to pursue.
So you need approval from this committee to send it on to the county board?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to accept the Cooper trade.
I'll second.
Okay, in a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries to send it on to the county board. Thanks, Rick. Okay, number C.
Okay, I'll just, I'm sure you had a chance to review, so I'll just run through it real quick. For January, we had 11 sales listed as active. Sale value on file right now is just a little over 4.2 million. Revenue for the month is just over 84,000. We've had a pretty good winter so far. We've had about the best logging conditions you could ask for right now. You know, a little bit of low snow and cold temps is good for our operations. So we're moving hardwood at the time, so that's a positive. It's going out of state, a lot of it right now, but we are getting some of our hardwood cut that was kind of backlogged a bit with our contracts on the books with the Verso situation. So sale revenue build out right now is just under 120,000. Sale inspections are on target. Tract establishments on target. The GNA authority with U.S. Forest Service, I did submit a final reimbursement request on 2 of our grants, our contract grants that we had, and a partial reimbursement request on the active contract that we have with the state for the federal. Other than that, everything is on target. One other note that I did put in my report, we did receive our initial assessment for the carbon credit project that we're working on that just came in on Friday. The numbers look pretty good. I haven't had a chance to really sort through it yet, but we had to get a non-disclosure agreement in place for some of the proprietary stuff that Blue Source has. So I'll be getting with Tom and with Bruce in the next couple weeks, and we'll have something formal for next month for the carbon
Okay.
credits.
Good. Any questions for Greg? Okay, not. DNR forestry report?
Yeah, if there's nothing, no questions on anything that was on there, the only thing that we really need action on is the emergency fire warden approval form. That's the next item on there. That's got to go to the county board for.
Yeah, I don't have no questions on it. Brian, you have any questions on the DNR report?
No, I don't.
Okay. Mark? No?
No,
Okay.
just need an approval on the fire wardens.
Yeah, we're gonna go there right now. So if there's no questions for the DNR, we go to the number E, emergency fire warden list. Discussion and possible action item.
We did lose one, I think it was the Happy Hooker. Out by Spider Lake there that changed ownership and the new owner didn't wanna participate anymore and be an emergency fire warden, so.
You know, when I was looking at this and it seems like the list is getting shorter to
It
me.
is, yep. So-
Like down in my area, in the Excellent area, there's nobody there, otherwise we've gotta go to Radisson.
Yeah, so there was some talk about potentially moving the one that we lost up here down there,
Okay.
but it's been a statewide initiative to cut
Yeah.
back on that. You know, I'm sure you guys have heard that before, but
Yes.
everything's just kind of transitioning to
Right.
electronic stuff, but there was some talk since we still are allocated that fire warden to move one down or shift some stuff around the southern part of the county, but this is what it'll be this year currently.
All right. Okay, we need a motion to approve the list, to send it on to the county board.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 2022 emergency fire wardens. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carried to send it on to the county board. Acer Group Advisory. That,
Yeah, good question.
I was reading this thing with that. I don't understand it.
Yeah, where did it come from and who deals with it?
I don't, other than that, who was involved with it, but I don't have any background information.
Well, everybody's read it. It isn't an action item.
No.
If he wants to put it back on the agenda when he gets back, that's fine. But I just read it yesterday and it didn't make no sense to me what it's all about, other maple syrup and stuff like that, but, okay. All right, zoning and conservation department.
Yeah, just as far as our update here, we did have a teleconference with DNR and more specifically, Max Wolter, fish biologist for our Upper Bruni River project. Again, we went back and forth on whether or not, we allocate funds to do a cofferdam, which could be a minimum of $200,000 extra for the county, up to $400,000 extra. So we, proceeded to go with the route of the full drawdown, but then there are concerns of, the fisheries aspect in that we would anticipate almost a 100% kill of the fisheries within that system. So in conversations with Max Wolters, we had some, ideas of what we could do. We could capture fish below the dam, hold them for 30 days in a separate settling pond, and then potentially reintroduce them. We could try to seine fish out from above the impoundment. Again, put them in a holding pond for 30 days and then reintroduce them. And when you start talking about the manpower that would be involved with that and the resources that are involved with that and finding the facilities to, to actually hold those fish for a specific amount of time, it starts getting a little cost prohibitive as far as doing a accelerated restocking effort. So we're starting to go more that route as just putting our money into an accelerated restocking program, buying fish from licensed facilities to restock that area. And in conversations with Max, we're anticipating anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 that would cost, as opposed to the $200,000 to $400,000 it would cost. And at $20,000 for restocking, Max was explaining to me that you're going to have one of the better fisheries out there, because that's a lot of money to put in for the fish that are there. So in the end, I think this might actually, be beneficial. It's going to probably have a little bad PR when, we do draw it down and some of those fish are caught in there and, the birds are eating at them. There's a lot of predation going on, but in the end, the county, as well as myself, we're going to put this back to better than it was for the fishery standpoint. So that is the route we're going, and progress is moving along with the DNR. So hopefully we'll have a full plan Potentially in March, if not March, a full plan will be here for April for potential approval by this board and then send it out for bids. The plan is still to start construction sometime this summer with finish date by early fall, and then we start filling the thing back up. We'll probably end up holding restocking back into that system until the spring of 2023 then. Just so that we have a full pool of water.
Full pool. of water.
Yeah. I have no other information for the Billy Boy easement. I still have to contact with Brian and discuss some information with that. We do have some time. That's still a year out that we need approval, but I do want to make the progress with that. We have an easement on the Billy Boy Dam that we secured through the BIA, and it's up for renewal, so we need to take care of that again. We did hold our speaker and poster contest. We had one individual take third place in the district speaking contest, and also Kayla Weller posted her poster placed first in grades 10 through 12 division. So she will be going on to the state competition, which will be held virtually March 2nd through the 4th. The tree sale is up and running. Limited stock is still available. But that is online if anyone's looking at interested in purchasing trees. We had staff attend several different training seminars, a district meeting, Northern Technical Training, Permeable Paver Training, NR 151 webinar, and then the annual Land Water Conference, which is available to all the Land Conservation Committee members, yourselves, will be held virtually again this year. If any members of this committee would like additional information in attending that virtual conference, you can certainly let me know. It's semi-beneficial. There's some good topics out there. But again, it's going to be held virtually. So that is all.
Jay, I was gonna ask you on that drawdown of that upper Bruni.
Yep.
And with the fish kill, is there any way that the public can?
The DNR was looking into that. Max was going to ask his higher ups if they could temporarily postpone any fishing regulations on that body of water so that instead of just being predation of birds, that people could actually go and harvest those fish. I can circle back with him and find out if there's any.
I just wondered.
Yeah, there is a hope that not all the fish get actually stuck in the lake, that a lot of them actually go over the dam, because we are going to do a pretty fast drawdown.
It'll suck them down.
Right, so we're hoping that they're gonna get sucked down. Now, I would assume a majority of them are gonna be just below the dam and kind of stuck in that pool there, but eventually some of these fish will move further downstream, which eventually then goes into Lake Winter. So it's not like the fish, not 100% of the fish are just going to get stuck and die in the lake.
Right.
But we're anticipating that there are gonna be no fish left in the lake. They're either going downstream or they're going to die off.
Good, Mark.
If something like that was approved, could we put that on the paper so that people were aware of that? So that, you know, when the time comes.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I'm just hoping that it doesn't have, you know, that bad PR, because there's going to be, you know, a 40-inch muskie that's going to get stuck up there.
Right, and I think.
And there's going to be an eagle pecking at its eyes, and someone's going to take a photo of it and see, oh, look what Sawyer County did. This is okay. And those are the fears that I have. But I hope if we get on top of it and, you know, explain the situation, like you said, you know, put the paper article out that, you know, this is going to occur, and that, you know, hopefully if I can, you know, make contacts with DNR again to, you know, remove or postpone those fishing regulations so that we can do a larger harvest. Yeah, I think that's a great way to go about it too.
Yeah, then people would see that we're being upfront about everything, and then could also maybe put a blurb in there as far as what the outcome, that the outcome is the more important thing, you know, the end result.
Yeah.
So no.
Okay.
I joke about it, and I was joking with the office. 3 to 5 years, this is going to be one of the best fisheries. I'm going to make it one of the best fisheries. Don't tell a lot of people that, but it's going to be giant bluegills out there.
So you can go back and fish later.
Even never. You'll know all about it. See.
You'll know right where the spots are.
Okay, any questions for Jay in his report?
I got a question for Jay.
Go ahead, Brian.
Jay, did Nita Kemp get a hold of you in regards to the easement on Billy Boy?
No, she did not.
Okay, what I'm gonna do then is I will email, I've already talked to her about it. She can guide you through this process relatively quick. She's our tribal realtor, and so what I'll do is I will touch base with her again later this morning and have her contact you. But in the event she doesn't, I'm gonna email you her contact information, so.
Yeah, I have her contact information, so I can even shoot her an email as well as far as the, documentation that I have. And ultimately it's, finding out who I need to go through at BIA in order to secure the easement. And if BIA wants to charge the county for the easement again, or if there's other concessions that can be made to secure this easement, so.
Okay, yeah, she can guide you through all that. She knows all the contacts up there.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Is that it, Jay?
Yep.
Okay. USDA report, we don't have one. Kevin's not here. Brian, you want to give us an LCO report?
Well, I mean, I don't, this time of year, like I said, a lot of our focus is on enforcement. I agree with Kathy from the Alliance that, man, we've been seeing more snowmobiles this year than I remember. We do have a few problems with people not staying on the trail, but by and large, everybody's been pretty good. So, otherwise it's just administrative stuff that we're concentrating on, so.
Any questions for Brian? Thank you, Brian. All right, future agenda items. Anybody got anything
So
on
we're
it?
gonna put this on the future.
Well, yeah, but I want Greg
Right, I was
and
gonna say.
Bruce to discuss it. I don't want to step on Bruce's toes I'm just vice chair and I want them two to discuss it,
All
so.
right, I guess just put it on there as a information or action.
Yeah,
item,
well,
And then,
I think they
Greg
can
can
meet
put
just
it-
enough time for it to get it on the agenda, so they got time. But yeah, like I say, I agree with you, Mark. We need to get it on there, so but I don't want to step on Bruce's toes, so.
gotcha.
Okay. Anything else? Number 14, correspondence, reports from conference and meetings and other matters for discussion only. If not, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.